Welcome to the Void! Today we're catching up with our old friend, Greg Locke. If you remember, last time we covered this man, he was going to burn a bunch of things that he thought was satanic, that was really banal, and basically doing a little Salem in his own backyard. The fire department was going to sue him, and he said bring it on. So let's catch up and see what actually happened. Did his fire go well? Did his fire not go well? Well, Greg Locke has some things to say, and I want to start with this because this is a little highlight from a 10-minute rant he goes on after the fact. Let's see exactly what Greg Locke thinks. Oh, dang it, I always forget to click on the right browser.
We're not going to give up because you know what happens? We've got all kind of death threats. We got people angry. We got people threatening to do everything you can imagine. Homeland Security, people calling us American terrorists, and Taliban, which, by the way, shall I say this about the Taliban? Did you know?
Okay, before he gets into the Taliban, I don't blame people for thinking you're a terrorist when you are literally calling people demonic for just living their lives. Not to mention you are burning things that are what you believe to be against your church, and that is a major red flag that what you are preaching is an extreme us versus them narrative where you cannot even stand the existence of anything other than your particular message.
That Islam, they burn stuff in their religion too that they deem occultic, and ain't nobody doing stories about them, are they?
Okay, so he's saying that we're more persecuted than the Taliban because the Taliban are doing the same thing and not getting the coverage. That's because A, they're much farther away than you are from American media, from major media sources, where people will cover things without the lens of the local religion obscuring their coverage. And B, because the how do I even talk about he is literally because Islam, the way it works with the media is, you know what, I already said it. Skip back 5 seconds so we can listen to this
That
message.
Islam, they burn stuff in their religion too that they deem occultic, and ain't nobody doing stories about them, are they?
Because here's why, Greg Locke, here's B. Christians burning occultic things has a history of people dying, especially in this country. The Salem witch trials were a thing, and there have been smaller instances of witch trials breaking out in this country ever since. Like, not nearly to the same scale, but they have happened. And now you're out here in 2022 burning what you believe to be occultic material and being upset when people are calling you rightful names because what you're doing is really, like, leads to a lot of dangerous things and is a dangerous, like, you have dangerous ideology and ideas behind your actions. In fact, that you are already at the point of taking materials and burning them based on the words that you think, that's not good. That is a real red flag.
Let that settle in. No, they've come against an evangelical, Bible-preaching, Bible-believing church in Middle Tennessee that they deem as a, irresponsible threat to the American Republic. Y'all crazy.
So, that's Greg Locke. That's just a little highlight for what we're about to watch. Let's get into this, shall we? Greg Locke. The devil owns the news. Prove me wrong. So we're already coming at this with, I am being persecuted, the devil is against me, and I am preaching against the devil, so therefore the devil is trying to defeat me. God, this is going to be intense. I can already tell. I'm going to try to let him talk, but he talks so fast and he says so much. We'll see how long this ends up.
Hey guys, Pastor Greg Locke here. We are almost to my speaking engagement tonight in southern Alabama. And so while I'm at the back of the bus here, I just wanted to talk to you guys for a minute over this unbelievable, literal firestorm of a controversy that is now taking place in regards to me, our ministry, and our church in Mount Juliet, Tennessee. And I just want to say this: the devil owns the news media. There's a reason Ephesians calls him the prince of the power of the air. Fake news is just that. It's just
Immediately it goes into literally demonizing his critics. Let's pull up the bite model, shall we? Let's pull up the bite model and see how many checks we can hit. Maybe that's what I'll do. Maybe I'll just have a bite model thing throughout my streams in the future. So we wait for this to load, and so immediately black and white thinking change. Let me zoom in so you can see it. Oops, come on. All right. Okay, so I'm just going to read this to you. Instill black and white thinking, us versus them, good versus evil. Immediately demonizing these people, linking any news coverage as demonic because the devil controls the air. The devil controls the principalities. I just love that he calls the devil the prince of the air, as if that's supposed to be linked to airwaves that the news is broadcast on, suggesting that that's what the devil controls. Like, that's almost funny, the way that he's found to link it, when I don't remember ever hearing that the devil is the prince of the air. I remember hearing he's prince of the principalities and the powers of the world, but air is a new one. Let's see, what else does this hit? Thought stopping techniques. Immediately you see the news and you don't think about it because, oh, this is demonic, this is devil stuff, this is the devil speaking to us, we don't need to listen to this. Only allowing positive thoughts, only allowing people to think well about your ministry. Don't forget, this is also persecution complex going on. Anytime you get critiqued, it must be evil, it must be wrong. What else here? Still irrational fears? No. Okay, it's not really emotion control yet. Information control? Definitely information control. Information into insider versus outsider. Demonic versus godly. What we say here in the church versus what the world says, what the media says. That is incredible. That is exactly what's happening here to a very, very radical extent. Generate and use propaganda, literally his sermons, but that's not exactly in this video, so not here. Gaslight to make you doubt your own memory. No, not yet. Promote dependence and obedience. No. Alright, so control clothing and a hairstyle. Yes, as well as controlling what you can and can't buy, what you can restrict leisure time and activities. That's what Greg Locke is doing here. He is saying you can't do X, Y, and Z. Crystals, spend time with Masonic organizations and Ouija boards as examples. And if you do that, you are demonic and not welcome in his church. So already we're only like a minute in, not even. 30 seconds in, and already we're hitting a bunch of stuff on the bite model.
As fake and wicked and evil now as it ever has been. There's a lot of things that we would know and realize, recognize, and understand if the news would actually cooperate and tell the truth, but they don't. So there's been a lot of controversy surrounding these series of messages that I've been preaching at our church on deliverance from demons.
I like how he to stop and think about how to phrase it, because what he's really been saying is he's literally just been demonizing aspects of other people's culture for the sake of his own biblical beliefs. And look, there's nothing wrong with talking about what you think and what you like and what you don't like. but he is promoting that his belief system should not only be imposed on his followers, but his followers should impose this on everyone around them as well. Because if you're around people who hold other beliefs, those people are dangerous, and the materials they use to support their beliefs must be burned so that they can no longer hold those beliefs. That's why this is so dangerous.
And desperate for deliverance. And I've been talking about deliverance. Whosoever shall call upon the name of the Lord shall be delivered in the last days, is what the Bible says. There's a lot in the Bible about deliverance. There's a lot in the Bible about oppression from evil spirits and possession of evil demonic spirits. There's a lot.
There is, but we also know nowadays that what that really is untreated mental illness. Whether it's schizophrenia or DID or some other mental illness, we know now that that stuff is not actually demons, but psychologically damaged people or psychologically different people that need care. And to treat them as demons and literally demonize people who need this sort of care is really dangerous, especially to people like us who are a system and have different headmates, you know? It's not fun to hear. Also, I do want to mention there is a point where this video freezes up and there's no, like, you'll just see his face and it won't move. It's not the connection. It is just how this video is. There was a connection problem on his end when he was recording this, and he never bothered to fix it. So just be aware that that's coming.
There, the church don't want to talk about it because it's uncomfortable, and the devil's not afraid of your church when all it does is screens, fog machines, and skinny jeans. Okay, it doesn't bother him one bit. But when you start,
he's definitely calling out that the newer mega church pastors who have adopted all sorts of fashion statements, including and pageantry, including that stuff. Which, I mean, hey, if that's how you want to present the gospel, go for it. I'm not going to say no. I am going to say, like, it's definitely, like, it's obvious that you are using this pageantry to attract people, but there's nothing inherently wrong with that. It's just funny that that's what he thinks is so wrong.
Start lifting a lid on hell and exposing the works of darkness, here's what happens. When you expose the works of darkness, you bring an invisible kingdom out visibly. And then you show that the kingdom of God triumphs over it, and it ticks off the devil. And we've ticked off the devil, for which I'm not apologizing, I'm explaining. So we went.
Greg really thinks that the devil is a real thing, and that therefore, anytime he talks about the devil, he will be attacked by the devil. He's literally creating an enemy and then blaming any problems he has on said enemy, and doing so in a way that encourages his followers to do that. This is really, really much. This is some real thought control and emotion control. Anytime there's critiques, anytime there's trouble, or sorry, this is real thought control and information control, where anytime encourage you to spy and report on others' misconduct, that's involved here, because anytime you see this witchcraft, anytime you see this Masonic demon stuff, according to him, you would have to, like, tell someone from the church so that it could be dealt with. This is, like, seriously dangerous, and he's just talking about it as if, oh yeah, the devil's coming to get me. That's normal. That's a normal thing to talk about. No, Greg, it's not normal, because the devil doesn't exist, and talking about it like he does is only making people more afraid and more likely to believe in your nonsense, which I know is the goal that you want to have happen. But then people will be so afraid that they might strike out against others and actually do harm to others, like you were doing with that fire, burning the materials other people use for their own beliefs and hobbies.
Through with our burning the other night, and every newspaper in America and many around the world, all they have done conveniently is talk about Pastor Greg Locke and Global Vision Bible Church had a book burning. Let me say this first of all, Skip.
I don't know if that's exactly true, because I looked around and I couldn't find a lot of articles the day after that event. Maybe they came out after I was looking for them, but there probably were a couple articles here and there, maybe one from a big source after a couple days, but he didn't really reach national news attention.
The books were the least amount of things and materials that we burnt. But yeah, we burnt books. You know why? Because Acts 19 says they brought their books of sorcery, spells, and magicianry, and they burned them before all men, counted the price of them, and there were 50,000 pieces of silver. So yeah, we had...
So he is admitting to burning. He's saying that this wasn't a book burning because we burned other stuff too. That's worse, right? Greg, you realize how that's worse, right? Not to steal a meme, but that's kind of how it feels. Like, congratulations, you are a bigger jerk than we had you pegged for. You're not just a book burner, you're also a board game burner and a clothing burner. Because you're so angry about this made-up man who is making it hard for you to be a good Christian boy. Oh, so sorry for you, Greg. So sorry for you and your demon-believing heart that you really think you have to burn books and burn I don't whatever else he ended up burning. Satanic those like mats with the satanic pentagram on it. I don't know. Whatever else he burned, like, oh, I'm so sorry that stuff is making it hard for you to read your own book in the privacy of your own home. So sad.
A good old-fashioned burning. It's not that we were burning, it's what we were burning. And listen, we've had
both? It's both. Pretty sure it's both.
Everybody that's on the other side come against us because of this. And we had neighbors coming out with crystals and, you know, putting occultic movies on their big screen TV and putting it on the front porch, and people praying hexes and vexes and curses. We had...
Yeah, so I'm pretty sure this video just
we had
got
Satanists show up. One guy tried to actually throw a real Bible into the fire, and guess what? It hit the railroad ties and bounced out and didn't burn. They were throwing papers around, screaming, "Hail Satan, hail Satan." Then he and his...
Yeah, that sounds like the normal thing that, like, whether it's the Church of Satan or the Satanic Temple, that sounds like a normal thing that they would do, where they show up and protest religious extremists like you by showing that there are people who legitimately worship or at least hold other beliefs, and in this country, we should be able to respect those other beliefs without persecuting them. Congratulations, Greg. You are persecuting other people's faiths and then complaining when people are mad at you for persecuting other people's faiths.
Gay lover kissed in the parking lot, but whatever.
Good for them.
Okay?
Gay love. Love to see it. Good for them.
We've had people try to attack us. They have come against us. The newspaper has been relentless and unbelievable, and all they want to talk about is this Hitler preacher, this Jim Jones Kool-Aid drinking individual that's burning books. We burnt a lot of stuff, and it wasn't...
He's not even denying these accusations. He's just saying, I was worse than that. He's been compared to Jim Jones. I'm not going to touch on the Hitler stuff, but he's been compared to Jim Jones and is saying, yeah, but we're not. We're actually doing more. We're actually being worse. As if that's actually a defense. Greg, this isn't making you look good, buddy.
Books. You know who we ticked off? We ticked off the Freemasons, and I'm glad I ticked them off. They're a godless, satanic cult of an organization. I said it then, I'll say it now. I'm not apologizing. I'm not backing up. I'm not those Bibles. You know why? Because they're not Bibles.
Oh, by the way, he burned Bibles that the Masons provided. The Masons will just give out Bibles at certain events or at certain places. They will just give you Bibles because they are not a Illuminati evil organization. They are just a bunch of people who like hanging out together, have an organization to do so, and a lot of them are Christian because America is culturally Christian. And these people are old, so a lot of them end up being Christian. Anti-Semitism again? I haven't noticed any anti-Semitism outside of the Hitler comparisons, but let me know, because if there is, I want to know about it so I can recognize it.
They're filled with satanic commentary. They're filled with pentagrams.
This is when it
with
freezes.
all of these different, crazy logos and nonsense.
I'm going to pause it because I want to screen cap this. He looks so tired here. He's so tired from having to put up with the nonsense of Satanists and witchcraft and witches who are coming at him for believing that their beliefs are evil. How dare they put Greg Locke through such a thing where he's so persecuted. Oh, how I'm just trying to present my beliefs that other people are wrong, and now these people are coming at me as if I'm wrong for saying they're wrong. Oh, this cycle never ends. I will never be free of these evil, satanic worshipping, Satan worshipping demons. Ooh! Greg, realize that you're the bully here, and people are trying to stand up to you. You're not being persecuted. This is the consequences of your own actions. Come on, save. So let me just save this real quick, and then we will get on with the video. Doo-ba-doo. Scroll down, and there we go. Greg is always someone who makes me a little bit more upset, and not in a bad way. Like, this is someone, the kind of stuff that I like to cover, because it provides me an outlet to, like, get this stuff out, you know? It's not really like demons and witches fire. Not really something that I can talk about to most people, because either people don't want to hear it because they have their own trauma and it's hard for them to talk about this stuff, or it's just not something people know enough about to talk about. So this is a fun thing for me to cover. But man, Craig, you need to introspect a little bit. Freemasons is often code for Jews. Yeah, I know that, but he is literally talking about the Freemasons. He is literally talking about the organization of the Freemasons here. He's made that very clear. This is not a dog whistle as it's usually intended. This is literally the Masons are the Illuminati. I do know that dog whistle, but that's not what this is based on the context.
Ties to the occult, the fatherhood of God, the brotherhood of man, a bunch of biblically incorrect, heretical nonsense. We got rid of all type of occultic things. Ouija boards, crystals, a lot of things.
There you go.
Things that
Ouija boards and crystals burned in a fire. You know that's not how you get rid of a crystal, right? A crystal can't just be burned. It's a rock. A rock isn't going to burn. Possibly the polish. That could like have a chemical reaction and combust, but not the actual rock.
tied people to the occult, spells, you name it, a lot of stuff. We burn it, and we're not going to back down from that. And they tell me that it will not allow me to do a live feed. So maybe you just saw a little glitch. Well, my phone just popped up and said that it's going to stop my live feed. But guess what? I'm back by the power of Jesus Christ. And so look.
I just want to point out, he had his own technical difficulties because he was probably driving and ran through an area where there's like low cell service. And he immediately thinks that that's a form of persecution against him, and that the reason he's back is because of Jesus. Like anything this guy experiences is automatically something that he has to put into this framework of the devil versus God, where he is on God's side. And therefore, anytime there's a minor difficulty, he has to praise God for when it's over and hate the devil for putting him through it. This is not a healthy mindset. This is not a healthy man.
The fact that what we're doing is causing so much trouble is indicative of the fact that we've ticked off the devil. A little sip of my coffee. We've ticked him off. We've ticked him off. We're not going to stop. We are going to press on. We are going to continue. We're not going to stop. So I just want to say this.
Let's listen.
I know I have booked meetings, and I have meetings booked all the way.
Okay, so this is him just talking to people. Like, now the people are upset at him for literally burning other people's belief systems in a fire, in effigy. Not even in effigy, literally burning other people's beliefs. Now he's saying he's going to go into this whole thing about, well, if you don't want me there, I am always going to be a firestorm. I'm always going to have controversy. That's just who I am as a preacher. He is showing no remorse. He is showing no acknowledgement or ability to introspect about his own possible faults, because anytime he does, he reaches this thought-stopping technique of, I am with God and I am preaching against the devil. Therefore, what I am saying is good, and anyone who comes against me is of the devil, or listening to the devil. Rejecting rational analysis, critical thinking, and doubt. Last thing on the thought control. This is heavy, heavy thought control stuff right here.